To understand how Jeet Kune stacks up against modern MMA, we first need to revisit the moment it was born. In the 1960s, martial arts was still very traditional. Schools were rigid, styles were kept pure, and fighters often argued about which art was superior. Bruce Lee looked at this and saw a problem. He believed that no single style had all the answers. He realized that a fighter limited by tradition would always lose to one who adapts. Out of this philosophy, he created Jeet Kune, famously calling it the style of no style. This wasn't just about fighting, it was a revolution in how martial arts was understood. Jeet Kune rejected the idea of fixed techniques and instead embraced what works. If a move was effective in combat, it was kept. If it was not, it was discarded, regardless of whether it came from Wing Chun, boxing, fencing, or wrestling. In essence, Bruce was building a complete fighter long before the term mixed martial arts was even invented. What makes Jeet Kune unique? Jeet Kune was never about a catalog of techniques, it was about adaptability. Bruce emphasized efficiency, use the shortest, fastest movement to achieve the goal. Directness, no flashy moves for show, only what works in real combat. Simplicity, the fewer unnecessary motions, the better. These principles meant that JKD wasn't locked into one tradition. Bruce pulled footwork from fencing, strikes from boxing, trapping from Wing Chun, and even early grappling concepts. His philosophy was simple: absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. Sound familiar? That's almost the exact blueprint for modern MMA. Fighters today combine wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and other arts to create their own style. The difference is that MMA has become a competitive sport with rules, while JKD was designed for survival in the street. The rise of MMA, a different evolution. Fast forward to the 1990s and early 2000s. The UFC burst onto the scene with the same question Bruce Lee asked decades earlier: which style is truly the best? Early events saw single-style fighters compete against one another: boxers versus wrestlers, karate fighters versus jiu-jitsu practitioners. Quickly, the answer became clear. No single discipline could dominate. The fighters who blended arts, who could strike, grapple, and wrestle, emerged victorious. This gave birth to modern MMA. Unlike JKD, which is philosophy-driven, MMA evolved as a rules-based sport. It was tested in the cage under specific conditions. Over time, the fighters became extremely well-rounded athletes, trained to handle every phase of combat. The UFC created an environment where only the most adaptable styles survived, which is, ironically, exactly what Bruce Lee preached. Jeet Kune versus MMA, philosophical versus practical. Here's where the comparison gets fascinating. Jeet Kune is essentially a mindset. It tells you to adapt, to use what works, to never get stuck in D.